Let's dive right in, shall we? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're putting a massive spotlight on a hidden, high-pressure threat that's lurking aboard modern ships right now: hydraulic system failures. And look, we're talking about pressures so intense they can literally slice right through a leather boot. Crazy, right? Now, if you're involved in maritime operations, you already know that keeping a ship running safely and profitably is a massively complex operation. But today, we are zooming in on a seemingly small, everyday component. Because if left unchecked, this tiny weak point has the power to trigger an absolute cascade of operational and environmental disasters. Think about that incredibly dense network of hoses and piping winding its way through a vessel. It's quite literally the veins and arteries of the ship. These lines are constantly carrying hydraulic oil under intense pressure. They're the hidden, highly vulnerable lifeline powering heavy machinery across the entire ship. And hey, when they work, they're absolute invisible workhorses. But when they fail, well, that intense internal pressure turns a minor weak point into a dangerous, high-velocity crisis in an instant. Section 1. The threat in port. We really need to understand exactly why a ship secured to a dock is the absolute worst time and place for these pressurized systems to fail. You see, these systems aren't just running secondary, optional stuff. We're talking about the heavy lifters, cranes, swinging cargo, mooring winches actively holding the vessel to the dock, cargo pumps, massive hatch covers, shell doors, heavy vehicle ramps. This is the ship's core business. All of this essential equipment relies entirely on hydraulic power, and it's operated intensely while the ship is in port. It's the exact moment when commercial operations are at their absolute peak, and coincidentally, right when the ship is under the absolute highest level of scrutiny from port authorities. So what's the actual fallout if one of those lines breaches while you're loading or unloading? Well, a failure doesn't just mean a quiet little puddle of oil dripping onto the deck. Because of that incredible high pressure, hydraulic oil escapes and sprays over a massive area in a fraction of a second. This triggers 3 immediate, totally devastating consequences. First up, personal injury. A high-pressure oil spray is a severe, immediate physical danger to any crew member working nearby. Second, commercial delays. Your essential cargo equipment suddenly goes offline, instantly plunging the ship into a very costly off-hire situation. And third, the massive financial hit. If that high-pressure spray goes overboard, which is a huge risk in port, you're looking at severe environmental pollution, devastating fines, and incredibly expensive, highly publicized cleanup ops. Section 2. Why hydraulic lines fail. If the operational and financial stakes are this high, we have to look really closely at the compounding forces actively degrading these systems right under our noses. We're basically fighting a two-front war here. On one side, we have fixed piping. Its main creeping enemy is corrosion. Slowly, day by day, the metal walls thin out until they just can't hold back that intense pressure anymore. On the flip side, we have flexible hoses, and these degrade so much faster. Think about the brutal environment a ship operates in. Constant exposure to corrosive saltwater, crazy temperature extremes, relentless UV light. Add in mechanical damage like frequent bending or twisting from poor installation, and the service life of these hoses just absolutely plummet. They're under constant attack from both the harsh environment and their own necessary movement. But we've got to understand not all lines are created equal when it comes to the level of risk they pose. The ultimate danger zone? Your exposed outboard lines located right near the ship's side. Why this matters is just simple physics and geometry. Because of their position, these hoses are incredibly vulnerable to physical impact damage. And more importantly, if an outboard line fails, you don't have the ship's deck there to catch the spill. That high-pressure leak is shooting directly into the sea. It's rapid, it's incredibly hard to contain on board once it starts, and it escalates a simple mechanical failure into a major marine pollution incident instantly. Section 3. Proactive Maintenance Best Practices. Okay, so how do we actually fight back? Let's break down the authoritative, practical checklist drawn straight from a ship's planned maintenance system, the PMS, to systematically prevent these disasters before they ever happen. First, visual inspections are absolute table stakes. You must execute regular, thorough checks of all flexible piping and hoses as dictated by your PMS. Second, when you spot rust patches on piping, you tackle it immediately. Thorough derusting, fresh protective paint. And here is a golden rule. Rust patches should never, ever be painted over without proper maintenance first. Third, if you see any evidence of abrasion, kinking, chemical contamination, or corrosion on the connections, you investigate and act immediately. And to make sure you can act,
you absolutely must keep spare sections of pipes, seals, and fixings on board for instant repairs. Never let a lack of spares be the excuse for leaving a weakened hose in active service. Now, beyond just looking for visible damage, we need strict, uncompromising replacement policies hardwired into the company's safety management system, or SMS. That brings us to a crucial number, 2.5. Listen, hoses located in exterior locations simply cannot be expected to last as long as hoses protected internally. To address this highly increased risk, forward-thinking companies actually mandate the total replacement of hydraulic hoses in high-risk exterior locations every 2.5 years. Period. No waiting around for a leak to show up.
And right on the heels of that, we have the 5-year mark. This is the recommended mandatory replacement timeline for all other hydraulic hoses that are exposed to the weather. By treating these timeframes, 2.5 years for high risk, 5 years for all other exterior lines, as absolute limits rather than friendly suggestions, you effectively remove the unpredictable aging factor from your operational equation. Now, when you actually hit those scheduled replacement marks, the how is just as vital as the when. Here are the non-negotiable rules to ensure your brand new parts don't fail prematurely. First, use original equipment manufacturer or OEM components. Make sure they are correctly rated for the exact intended application. Maintain complete sets of spare hoses on board to avoid sketchy patchwork fixes. And here's a brilliant engineering recommendation for you. Whenever possible, upgrade the connectors to stainless steel. It is a massive upgrade in corrosion resistance that will drastically improve the lifespan of that connection in a harsh marine environment. I want to pause here and ask you a question that Port State Control or environmental authorities are absolutely going to ask if the worst happens. Do you know exactly how much oil just spilled? You see, a tiny amount of hydraulic oil, when sprayed under intense pressure, looks like an absolute catastrophe. It coats everything. If you don't know your exact system inventory, authorities will naturally assume the worst-case scenario. That is exactly why you must rigorously maintain records of your hydraulic tank quantities. If an incident happens and the spilled quantity is a mystery, it looks like massive pollution, and you open your operation up to disproportionately heavy fines. Knowing your exact numbers, that is a critical administrative layer of defense. Section 4. Alternative System Designs. We've spent this explainer talking about actively managing the risk, but what if we could just engineer this risk entirely out of the equation, whether it's during the ship's initial design or a major refit? When you compare our traditional reliance on high pollution risk hydraulic systems against vastly cleaner alternatives, the ultimate best practice is to simply avoid exposed outboard hydraulic piping altogether. But hey, even for existing fleets, there are incredible options. There are successful projects out there where a ship owner completely replaced existing hydraulic actuators in exposed locations with pneumatic ones. Or, depending on the ship type, adopting all-electric systems for cranes, hatch covers, and winches. By shifting your power source from high-pressure oil to pneumatic or electric, you drop your hydraulic pollution risk in those vulnerable areas to literal zero. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on regarding your own operations. Are your exposed hydraulic lines a carefully managed asset, or are they a ticking environmental liability? The line between standard profitable port operations and a catastrophic environmental incident is incredibly thin, and it is held back only by the integrity of those very hoses. By identifying the risks and addressing them through alternative designs, rigid proactive maintenance, and strict replacement cycles, you can take total control of that liability. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, keep inspecting, and definitely stay safe out there.